following training is sponsored by the Niagara Library System. We serve our member libraries in Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. Please visit your local library homepage and use your library card to get access to streaming videos, downloadable music, audiobooks, ebooks, and even more from the comfort of your own home. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back. I am recording today again with, let me show it to you here, the blue Snowball microphone, and let me put it down so it's not in the way here again. If you want to record with this microphone or use it, we have a whole gadgets library. Remember, you can always get that. I'll put the link in the description, and let's get on with the show. All right. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about 5G. That is the fifth generation of cellular technology and what this is going to mean for libraries, for patrons, and things like that. Things and people, actually. I found a nice article from Roger Chang, and I'm going to quote from it extensively. This is meant to be a short introduction to 5G for cellular networks and devices. So big thing, this is unlike the 4G LTE or long-term evolution. This is something that we're going to have to, if you want to use it, it's going to cost a bit of an investment in both a new device and a new plan. So we'll get into that. But if your patrons are seeing the TV commercials as I am, they may have questions. You may have questions. I certainly had questions. So since this article helped me understand 5G, I am again quoting from it and going to shorten it quite a bit for clarity. And of course, the link will be in the description. Without further ado, Mr. Roger Chang writes, after years of hype and a bumpy first year of launches. Now, this was actually back in 2018, 2019 is when 5G really officially launched, but it really hasn't come into the forefront here until 2021. Bumpy first year, talking back in like 2018, 2019, carrier 5G networks are here, and most importantly, 5G compatible phones like the iPhone 12 and the Pixel 5 are now out, or they're coming out in the next couple weeks. The technology is supposed to change your life with its revolutionary speed and responsiveness. But before we get into that, it's important to understand what it is, when and how it will affect you, and how to distinguish between the still growing hype and reality. In 2019, CNET held a massive speed test of 5G networks around the world, spanning from Chicago to London to Sydney to Seoul. The results were a mix of absolutely ludicrous speeds, but very limited range, and spotty coverage. Conversely, you would see wider coverage with just a modest bump in speed. As a matter of fact, almost unnoticeable bump in speed. Over the course of 2020, things have gotten much better. Carriers continue to expand 5G coverage into more cities, and new devices compatible with multiple networks are coming out, with AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon all announcing nationwide coverage now. I have seen much advertising again on 5G or about 5G on TV, so I figured now was as good a time as any to give you a brief overview. So here's the tricky part, in my opinion. Now, Roger Chang goes on to write, beyond a big speed boost, 5G has been referred to as the foundational tech that'll supercharge areas like self-driving cars, virtual and augmented reality, and telemedicine services such as remote surgery. It will eventually connect everything from farming equipment to security cameras and, of course, your smartphone. I'm sorry. This does remind me of Skynet. Okay. All right. Okay. I digress as usual here, but still remember, today's science fiction is tomorrow's science fact, as Isaac Asimov is credited with saying. Put simply, 5G is the next or fifth generation of cellular technology, and it promises to greatly enhance the speed, coverage, and responsiveness of wireless networks. One of the key benefits is something called low latency. Now, hang on with me here. You're going to hear this term a lot. Latency is the response time between when you click on a link or start streaming a video on your phone, which sends the request up to the network, and then the network responds, delivering you the website or playing your video. That lag time can last around 20 milliseconds with current networks. This doesn't seem like much, but with 5G, that latency gets reduced to as little as 1 millisecond, or about the time it takes for a flash on a normal camera. Remember these guys? I remember these guys here, cube flashes. Now, what does 1 millisecond mean? What does 20 millisecond mean? Well, we've all done Zoom conference calls, right? I know we have. So you know that little lag when you're on a Zoom video conference call? 5G will help eliminate some of those awkward, sorry, you go ahead moments after people talk over one another. That lag time won't completely go away, especially if you're communicating with someone halfway around the world. Distance matters, of course, since the info has to travel there and back, but a virtually lag-free connection means we can talk in real time on Zoom. It means self-driving cars have a way to communicate with each other in real time, assuming there's enough 5G coverage to connect those vehicles. We're not quite there yet with existing 5G networks, but the industry is working to trim down the latency, so those hypotheticals will become, hopefully, reality soon. I personally cannot wait for self-driving cars, but that's just me. Mr. Chang quotes Jeff McElfresh from AT&T Communications. He says, 5G brings capabilities that are going to cause us to think different about pricing, of course. We expect pricing to be at a premium to what we charge today. He teased, though, that more affordable 5G is coming. You should not assume that 5G is an exclusive capability only for the most expensive handsets and found only in the most expensive rate plans, he said in an interview back in May. The speed at which the technology is beginning to make its way into the network is unparalleled. In the US, 5G initially used super high frequency spectrum, which has a much shorter range but higher capacity to deliver a massive pipe, so huge amounts of data very, very quickly, but for literally geographically very short places. You could actually think of it kind of as a glorified Wi-Fi hotspot. And of course, this was the very early years, and this seems a little dumb to me. Who wants that? I need my phone or device for regular use. Yes, but I need it especially in an emergency. I need that reach. That is what I'm paying for. What do I care about this hyper speed if it has a range less than the average outdoor cat? And this is literally a GPS tracker. This is a picture of a GPS tracker that was attached to an outdoor cat overnight. So I did think that was funny. And yeah, I think the outdoor cat has better range than the old 5G. Current 5G is getting a lot better. Now, he goes into this in much greater detail in the article. If you want to see that, of course, click the link in the description. But let's go on here for understanding. All right, so big question. Where is 5G available in the United States? Well, it depends on exactly what kind of 5G you are talking about. For example, Cheng continues, all three carriers, the major carriers in the U.S., claim nationwide coverage, but they use a lower frequency spectrum that often looks a lot like a glorified 4G signal. At launch, T-Mobile said that people could expect a speed bump of about 20% over 4G, which for many consumers isn't even fast enough to be noticeable. Okay. As to the carriers, when it comes to that super fast millimeter wave flavor, Verizon is the main standard bearer. The company's so-called 5G UW, that is ultra wide, is in more than 60 markets right now. AT&T says its millimeter wave network is in parts of 36 cities, and T-Mobile says it has its millimeter wave network in parts of 6 cities, including Dallas, New York, and Los Angeles. It means super fast speed, slightly lower ranges, but again, they're working on it. And 2021 might be the year that you might consider adopting a 5G plan or a 5G device. And remember, again, if you're thinking 5G, this is what I really want. The takeaway here is that awkward lag with Zoom, 5G will help eliminate some of those awkward, sorry, you go ahead moments after people talk to one another. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.